Halito, family and friends, Halito to you guys. Um, for those who come into the chat, please let me know if you can hear me. I am trying some new equipment. So please let me know that you hear me. Give me a fire emoji. Give me a one or a fire emoji. Anything you to let me know that you hear me, okay? Because I'm trying something different. And when you're always trying something different, you got to see if it's working. You know what I'm saying? So let me know. Do you guys hear me? Let me clear my throat. Mine eyes in the house. Peace, peace. We got the chief Flemings in the house. We got Tony. Tony, it's so great to see you guys. Brian's in the house. I'm still trying to clear my throat. Finally getting over that cold, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm doing much better. It is what it is. It's so great to see you guys. Halito to you guys, to the Aborigine family out there. So great to see you guys. What a weekend the big chief had. I had a great weekend. I don't, and hopefully a lot of you guys have had a great weekend. A lot of you men who are not appreciative, who don't get the appreciation that you deserve. I want you to know, if I didn't get a chance to tell you happy Father's Day, and I'm gonna tell you right now, happy Father's Day. Some of you guys are the greatest. Okay, there's a lot of men out there that does not get noticed. And we're gonna talk about this today because I got a chance, and it was a little TikToker. This young man makes you laugh. I mean, he is a funny guy. And he made a valid point. I think because he's a little country. I think he's from Alabama, and he's a little country. You know what I'm saying? And so people can't make out a lot of the words that he said. But boy, did he make sense. He make a lot of sense on a lot of things, family. And one of the things he was talking about was Father's Day and the economics of Father's Day. And I did not know these things. I did not know in America that Father's Day is looked the way it looks, looked down upon. So we're talking about these days, the number one list when it comes down to people's celebrations is Christmas. Christmas is the number one celebration in America. But did you know in second place is Mother's Day? Now, I have never carried any secrets that I'm the product of a single mother. But my mother always told me I can never be a man. I'm raising you, son, but I can never be your father. I'm doing the best I can, but I can never be your father. So, and shout out to Alexis just coming in the house. And I took that what she was saying, and it made a lot of sense. Now, in third place, it would be Halloween. Halloween, for God's sakes. And this list was so ridiculous. And to make a long story short, Father's Day, we were ranked 26. Father's Day was ranked 26 out of all of the man-made holidays that they got out here. 26. That's how much people value Father's Day. I want that to sink in. And I want all our tribal leaders, all you guys out there, to let that sink in. 26. Shout out to the great Chief Tolu. Shout out to the great Chief Tolu. I just want people to understand this. That this is what's happening, and this is why you see dysfunctional families. You see families dysfunctional, building the values of a family. And when we talk about values, and I'm gonna let this sink in. And when we talk about values, values is everything. Values. There's no mother, there's no father without each other. But some kind of way we have built separation with the two. Some kind of way we have built separation with the two. And one of the reasons I believe the separation was because of the oppressor, especially when it comes down to melanated people. My sons went down to Walmart. They went shopping for their dad, but they noticed that there were little options to come shop for dad. There were little to none options. And boy, was I grateful for what the boys have bought me. Man, they bought me awesome gifts. But I want you guys to understand, for Mother's Day, flowers everywhere. They got stands and tents. And I want this to sink in. Now, this is a brother who was raised by a single mother. Shout out to Big Dog Philly in the house. R.E. in the house. Now, I want this to sink in, that I'm talking from a point of view, I was raised by a single mother. But as you get older, you start to understand how they separate the man and the woman in the values of each other. Because there's no greater than each other. And I have never seen, men don't even get flowers. Men don't even get flowers. They don't even put flowers out for men. Like men don't like nature. It's a wonder why we are so disconnected with each other. It's a wonder why we so disconnected with each other. Because we have one that is valued and loved over the other. You can go out into the stores. You can go out to the Family Dollars. You can go to the Dollar Tree. Go look at the products that was out. And I had to question a woman. I said, ma'am, there's really nothing that you guys care about when it comes down to men. And this is a serious, serious problem. Because I always say that when you are in relationships and you have a child, there's no greater. One is not love without the other. The spouse. And they always said a happy wife makes a happy life. And that is a really great statement. But it should be a happy spouse make a great house. A happy spouse make a great house. See, we got to stop dividing the genders and stop emasculating the men and stop making them feel like they're not worth being a champion in society. It's a wonder that some of these young men don't have nobody to look up to. There were so many great fathers that I saw on TikTok, that I saw on Facebook. So many great fathers out there that are not being seen. So many tribal leaders that I seen from the Aborigine community that are not being seen. Nobody's talking about them. And I want to thank all you guys for all the things that you said, all the kind words about my sons and my family, all the great kind words. You guys are a great support system to my family. You guys are the realest. You guys are not haters. But in order for us to break the monopoly, we have to understand the problems. We have to get down to the problem. There was a lot more brothers out there that are raising their children by themselves. And we don't talk about these children that are being raised by fathers. Shout out to Thomas. They had some unfortunate things where the mother died while having a child, and the father had to raise the child on their own. No one talks about that father who has to bear the burden of raising his son or daughter without having a mother. What have we become, America? Turtle Island, what have we become? Did you know that Halloween was ranked over the fathers? Halloween was ranked on the list number 6. And fathers was ranked on the list 26. 26. And I can bet you if we did the statistics, it would say more of people of color. Now they threw white people in there, but you know that it's more people of color. The disrespect is through the peoples of color when you talk about the 70s, and when we go back down to the 70s going into the 80s, the last of the 70s, the late 70s going into the 80s, during the time that they put crack in our neighborhoods, and the government pushed the man out the house. The government had pushed the man out the house. One of the worst crises that ever happened to America. One of the worst crises is putting the dad out the house. And we don't understand that these things affect us today. That these situations that happened from then are the reason why we're in the predicaments that we are in today. I know, a lot of times Aborigine family, we don't even look at the reality. I'm not here to get sympathy for men. I'm not here to get sympathy for men, because I have spent a lot of my life. For those who follow me, I uplift and praise my mother, who was a single mother, who raised me as a quality man. But as I got older, and I realized I'm a father now. And we can talk all day long how great women are, because women deserve the honor and the glory and the praise, because I have a wife that does honor. She goes beyond out her way for her children and for her husband. And y'all deserve, all you women deserve to be praised. But the problem is that it should be down the middle. That everything should be down. There's no gender that is better than the next gender. Females, males are not better than each other. And we were built to be a union, not in competition. We were built as one. We are a union as one. So there's no competition in that. There's a lot of brothers out there that are out on that want to be there in their children's life, but the government has stepped in. A lot of these women back in the early 80s, because they wanted government, they allowed the government in their house. Melanated people, the way we raised our children, the structure that we raised our children, the way we disciplined our children, and we opened up a can of worms when we got government assistance. We open up a can of worms because they get in your business once you take from the government. They get in your business. They want to know how many people in your house. They want to know how much you're making. See, there was a time when the government was not in your life, but you put them in your life. You can't discipline your child. You can't spank your child. Our people We're a different breed of people. Our children don't go down the food aisles and knocking down products, because our children knew that they had the fear of God. They saw their mother and their father. They knew that, hey, you know what? I'm going to get me an ass whipping. Shout out to Kiwanis in the house. I want people to understand this. The values of in these little things, you guys may not understand. It's the little things that separate us. It ain't the big things. We have now been in a situation now where we tell our females that they have to have the biggest weddings. That the young lady has to have the biggest wedding. That the man don't love you unless he give you a big wedding. And then they don't understand that you put all your money into that wedding for other people to mooch off you. You put all your money into that wedding for other people to eat your shit, drink your shit, dance at your shit, and don't contribute to your shit. When you understand that when you building a union, that you can save some of that money to get a home, to start building the things that you need. We have become a show and tell word. Showing off for our friends, like Brian say. And they're all the people doing this window shopping. You're a window shopper. Because they envy you. Most of the people who you think that are your friends don't truly love you. When you're at your lowest, all these people are not there for you. Most of the times you see people that you call your friends for years, been there on your side for years, and all along you found out that they wanted some of the things that you have. Some of these men want your woman, want your wife. Some of these men some of these people want your lifestyle, want you. Shout out to Brandon Rogers in the house. You guys get comfortable. And you know, I always question the man who have more partners and friends than his wife. Want to spend more time with the fellas than his wife. A man should never want to spend all his time with his boys. There's a time and a place to be with your boys. There's a time when you grow up, you thought as a child, when you was a child, you thought as a child and you was a child. Now you're a man, you should think as a man. And it's the same thing with females. You out there, your girl then talked you into leaving and go out and party out in the streets. And then next thing you know, you out there, you know, you vulnerable, you're out here, you see other people who looking at you. And they're getting your attention. We were looking at the brother who just won the championship, Stephen Curry. His wife Ashley or whatever. I can't think of the young lady name. She's dying for attention. You know, she took the trophy now, and she was pee popping on the trophy because she's dying for attention from her husband. These are the things that are going on in our community. These are the things that are going on in our community. The lack of love. And she's rather her let that be the moment of her husband, she's making it about herself. And a lot of these people, she just celebrate, she just enjoying her. No, she's all about herself. That's her husband's moment. Sometimes you got to step out of the way and let the man have his time. Sometimes, sisters, you just got to let him have his time. Let him feel like a man sometimes. Let him feel like he's worth something sometimes. Sometimes you just got to step back and leave that masculinity energy that you're bringing out there and back off. Sometimes you got to look at yourself and wonder why you are breaking your man and your man is being more feminine as you. The man is in the bathroom. He's in there. He in competition with you, fighting for love. We got to call things out the way we see it, and it is what it is. We got to call things out. You know, I was just talking about our Aborigine tribes on how, you know, people don't realize, and that's another thing when if you deal with the cops, and not to change the subject, but I am going to change the subject. I want family and friends out there, if your children are being arrested by the cops, please do not tell them to not say that they're African American. Stop calling African names. Stop calling yourself black. Do not answer. Tell your children, do not answer by black or African American. These are some of the things that's see when you got to understand that they don't not acknowledge African American and black as being in existence. Shout out to Patrick in the house. They don't look at us as being human under the name African American and black. And the biggest important thing is that you claim who you are. You got to start saying who you are. Not only start getting your paperwork, but everything that you do, you have to start claiming the nation. You know, I went when I went to the doctor, and I had a checkup, and I had to go take my little checkup. I still go to the doctor because they're dealing with this diabetes, but then I realized in the portal that they had me under African American and black. They had me under black and African American. I didn't realize that they had that under there. So you know what I did? I edited and I put other. They didn't have a category for Aborigine. So I took off with the doctors, because you got to understand that this is the reason why they take so much blood from you. This is some of the reasons that they take so much blood. They don't just take blood. They got to give it to these reptiles. See, they feast off your blood. They can't live without your blood. Now, I want you to understand this. It may sound weird, but these are the things that are happening right now. Your blood is worth more than a lot of things, a lot of money out there. So you got to go, when you go to the doctor, take that African American, because guess what? When the doctor see your records, when the doctor see who you is, he ain't gonna work on you as an American, because you are a nobody. He's gonna look at you as being a nobody. I keep telling family and friends, stop being a donor. I know you guys want to help people. But if you ain't helping your own people, you don't know where them organs going. You don't know where them organs going. There are people that wasn't already ready to die, and they had induced the death because they had donor on there, and they gave them the rights to kill them. People don't understand that they blew my sister kidneys. My sister had cancer, but she wasn't ready to die. She said, they're trying to kill me. She told my brother, she said, Phil, they're trying to kill me. Told my big brother that. They told my big brother, she told me I couldn't make it there in time because I was on the road, couldn't make it in time, and I didn't get a chance to see her. But they had woozed her up with all kinds of medication, all kinds of medicine. And I want you guys to understand that. So the first thing that they do, they take your kidneys. If they don't want you to drink water. Always remember that. You can't live without water. So once they break your kidneys and they take your kidneys away, you're not able to survive. How are you going to drink water? So once you under that system where you giving up your organs freely to these people, And it's amazing. Most of the people is always they waiting on them gunshot guys. And all you guys, as soon as they get out of high school, you got your kids ready to register to vote, and got your kids ready to take that ready to be a donor on a license. When they go get their license, the first thing that they ask them to be is an organ donor. Educate your children about organ donors in America. I never believed in it. Cherokee, I might be mistaken, but I did hear someone say that they like to pass some low-key some laws where we're not allowed anymore within the past couple of years. I don't know, but you know, I'm telling you, these things are happening to us, and we've been in denial for a very long time, Thomas. For a very long time, we have been following they little rules. We've been doing. All of us been vaccinated since we were kids, whether you like it or not, because a lot of us wasn't knowledgeable about when we were kids. But when you were going to the clinic, and them clinic appointments that your mama was, they were vaccinating you. They were putting diabetes inside you. They were putting cancer inside of you. But we never paid attention to them things because we were kids. We didn't, our mothers didn't know better. They didn't know better. So a lot of brothers and sisters deal with sickle cell. And it's only found in people of color, sickle cell. Now, when you go and understand that they have found in the OMAC sickle cell traits. In the OMAC, the people of the OMAC. They found sickle cell traits. Chief, they had our people celebrating that dumb holiday too. Yes. And we talk about the 4th of July. I didn't got past the 4th of July. I used to love the 4th of July. I didn't have the knowledge back in the days. I used to love getting ready to go out there and fry some hamburgers and get out there and party. But celebrating what? The slaughter of our people? We got the the slaughter of our people. Make it make sense. We wasn't free. As you get older, you're not the same person that you was 5 years ago. You shouldn't be the same person that you was 5 years ago. You should have some growth in your life. Because when I was a child, I think like a child. But as a man, I think like a man now. Yeah, Tony, I used to do all that. I can't sit here and lie and talk about I didn't do all that celebrating and all that. I didn't do all the stuff. Man, I was the biggest one out there. I was the biggest one. But now you should learn, and we got so much we can celebrate, Aborigine people. We got so many things that we can do and celebrate of our people. And this is nothing against any other race of people. We're not a hate group. We are a knowledgeable group. We are a group that has been knowledgeable, that has learned the ways. Dan, you have been kicking us in the ass too long. And now we have awoken. You have put your laws, your history into our minds. Alex Haley was a fraud. Alex Haley stole the idea from a guy in Africa. Alex Haley wrote a book. And these things are so crazy because we believe. So none of you guys knew anything about slave trades until Roots came out. Come on, family. Until Roots came out, how many of you guys were talking about the Atlantic slave trade? How many of your grandmothers or grandfathers were talking about that? There's no doubt that we believe that the people of color here, that the tribes were enslaved. They had some groups that got enslaved by the colonizers. We believe that they came here and they took one section of the East Coast and they worked their way on one to the south, and they moved their way to the West Coast. We don't have, it's economics. Family, it's economics. There's no kind of way that they would lose that many people, that they would fight them Africans and bring all them people here on boats, when they can take them people that's already here and use their disease and their weapons. You want to believe everything? I believe Africa is a beautiful continent. I believe Africa has some beautiful work. Just in Uganda, they just found gold. Africa is a rich continent with beautiful people. But make no mistake, America is beautiful too. America is the land of nature. America has more green land than any continent across the world. You can grow shit here in America that you can't grow in Africa. You have to understand that they had to reclassify the people that were here, because they know that they owe us too much. Can't be a Mongoloid, a Siberian Asian. No disrespect to you, or to you so-called Native Americans. No disrespect. You got some great people out there. I met some great Native Americans, and they're some real nice people. Our only discussion is that, where do you come from? Our only discussion, why don't you talk about your native land? Why don't you talk about your native land? Why the Mongoloids talk about America and don't talk about their native land? The fact that they are cast-offs. And why don't the Europeans tell the truth about their slaves? Why don't the Europeans talk the facts that white people were slaves also? That the prisoners, that they were prisoners under the queen, and the queen brought them here to start a new life, and that she did not bring her best. She brought her worst. These people that came, not all, some not all, most not all, were pedophiles, murderers, savages that were serving prison time in Europe. They were serving prison time in Europe. Shout out to the brother Nas. See, these people were misfits, mutations, misfits. These people were laying with dogs. These people were on 4 legs. And these people were hairy, very hairy. You adapt to your continent, your region. So these people adapted. A lot of they shed, they were full like animals. They even had tails. Now, this is scientific facts. This is nothing about me being racism. No, it's scientific facts that people grew tails. It's scientific facts that they grew so much fur that it was like wool. Like sheep clothes. They had a whole body full of hair. 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 They had a whole body copper son in the house. These people were found in feces, sitting in their own feces until the Moors decided to go bring them out to civilization. See, Europe was never a white continent. Europe was a peoples of color continent. But all skin folks are not kin folks. And this is the difference between us and the Moors. Moors have to understand that you are the reason why these people came out. And you civilized them. You civilized them. So when they got into a warmer region, they shedded their hairs. Their tails fell off. But some of the tails have been removed by doctors. Some of their babies were born with actual wagon tails. Now, this is scientific facts. This is not racism. It's not racism, the fact that they have hair that attract bugs. That's not racism. Lights do not grow in people of color hairs. It just don't happen. It happens if you only, the way you get lights, if you have to be around a white person who can give it to you. But they call us monkeys. These are the people who call us monkeys. Most of our people have big monster, big lips. Where we get off having thin lips like a monkey. Monkey lips, they ain't got no lips. When a monkey sheds in their skin, when they sheds, they white. When a monkey's skin peels off, when they hair peels off and their skin shows, it turns white. But we the monkeys. You claim that we are the watermelon eaters. Shout out to Nas. You claim that we are the chicken eaters. But for those who from the South, been to North Carolina, South Carolina, who've been down there to Georgia, who've been down there to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, you can find white people who dog watermelon and chicken better than us. They eat watermelon and chicken better than us. But when we understand the science behind watermelon, that the fact that watermelon is a hydration, that watermelon hydrates the body, that watermelon lowers your blood pressure. But everything that we do, they want to make fun of. Well, yet we call savages. Yeah, Virginia also. Virginia is a part of that whole line. Virginia is a part of that whole line that deals with this issue. And we afraid to talk about these things because the fact is these people have always looked at, and I'm not talking about all white people. I'm not talking about all white people because I don't believe all white people are just like that. I don't believe it. I'm talking about the ones, because they got some white people who don't give a damn about their own people. So I'm not going to say all white people. We're going to just ignore the fact that during the times that Martin Luther King, the fact that during them times they were fighting for you know, I know Martin was very, if he could do it all over, he wouldn't have marched them people. He wouldn't have did that. But do you know how many white people who died with the blacks? And they called them nigger lovers? We're just going to ignore the fact that whites throughout history, there's always some goofy white boy who's going to die for the cause? No, we're not a hate group. See, the problem is when you speak the truth, you become a hate group. When you speak the truth, you become a hate group. You become radical. But they want to keep you in your captivity. They want to keep you in your low vibration. Took them for years to not want. They didn't want you to read or write. They didn't want you to read or write. Some of our people, it still take years and years for us to catch up to these people. It'll take years and years for us to just catch up. We haven't even caught up yet, family. Because we rely on them. And to make a better us, we got to stop relying on people who don't give a damn about us. When are we going to rely on ourselves? And as I told you, it hurted me, even though I got some of the greatest presents. Thank you to my son. Shout out to them. All these great gifts, man. And one of the gifts I'm on right now. My sons really went out there for their daddy. I got the new Saints jersey, and everybody know I'm a big football fan, and they got me my microphone. They know I love to talk. I got a nice basketball jersey that's being ordered on the way. My sons really went out there for their dad. Don't ever tell me that you cannot, that the melanated man that cannot affect young men and their daughters, that they're not needed. No matter how much they don't put things out in the stores. No matter they don't put out things out in the stores like they do to women. They won't praise. You got to stand up, ladies, and praise these men if they don't want to. Because we will not be strong without each other. Family, we will not be strong without each other. There's no man without a woman. And there's no woman without a man. There's no competition. There's no competition. There's things that women can do that men can't do. But there's some things that men can do that women can't do. And that's what makes y'all special. That's what makes everybody special and different. We got to stop taking the innocent things and eliminating the innocent things, and taking all the sensitive parts away. We're making men so hard and grumpy, and we're making women so hard and grumpy. There's no love connection no more. I want you guys to understand these things. Don't allow these people that come on TV and divide us. And, make your children go outside and climb freaking trees. Take that damn cell phone from them. Make them go out there and run that energy out. Because you know what you guys do? You go get an iPad and you give it to your children to get them out your face. You buy them things to get them the hell out your face. You buy them video games because you don't want to take the time to talk. It's a time that you can have a moment. You don't know how much you get out of just when you can talk to your children. How fun it is to have conversation. My wife and I, we have these moments where we just talk. And we want to learn about them. How was your day today? How was the food at school? Was it garbage? How many girls out there that's looking at you? How many, Are you having sex? Are you having sex? Because that's the problem right now. We know a damn thing about our children. That's why kids are having kids today. Because we're afraid to be nosy parents. We're afraid to get in their business. When the hell did children get rights? Are you the parent or the friend? Are you the parent or you their friend? You wanna please them so much, but you don't even please your own self. And they still you give them the world, and then they still don't love you the way they should. You give them what they need, not what they want. You give your children what they need, not what they want. It's going to come a time when you want to splurge and give them some things that they want. But you can't just give buying your own children because you too lazy to sit up and have conversation with your own children. That's what many of our American brothers and sisters out here doing. We buy our children to get the hell out of our face. You don't know what you don't know what sites they own. You don't know what they pedophiles. They just showed in Florida that they arrested 12 white men in Florida. 12 white men in Florida. They targets were 13-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls, 15-year-old girls, 13-year-old boys. And guess what? Their parents was not paying attention, but the FBI was paying attention. And they was meeting. There were these grown-ass men. Some of these men were 65 that was arrested. Some of these sick bastards were 65 years old. Some of them was 55. Some of them was 30 years old. And some of them was 28 years old. And they were willing to go. One man rode from Michigan to meet a little girl who was 13 years old, who he thought was 13 years old. He drove all the way from Michigan to Florida, and he thought all along he was talking to a 13-year-old. But they had fooled him. These creeps are everywhere. And I want your Aborigine sisters to pay attention too, because I tell my wife be careful too, because they snatching our women. They ain't just snatching the children. You know how many missing women, grown, 40, 30, 50-year-old women being snatched? They don't know where the hell they at. Do y'all know that? Do you know that? Because see, melanated men and women don't make the news. See, when they go missing, they don't make the news. And these are grown people who are being taken. There's a dark world where the reptilians are hanging out. It's a dark world. And they're taking our women. They're taking some of our men. Some of our men are being snatched. And these reptilians are feasting off them. These reptilians, there's many names of it. And they feasting off the blood of our people. You at war. You in a spiritual warfare. You at war, nature. And you got to understand, we have been too gullible. We have been too gullible as a people. How could they have dark people in Haiti, dark people in all them islands, St. Thomas Islands, all these islands out there, Honduras, all these dark people, all these islands around America, and you're going to tell me Well, America don't have dark people? You're gonna tell me that America does not originate? If people of color is the dominant color across the world, they may not be the dominant in America, but let me ask you a question. If they are the dominant people across the world, and I'm talking about all continents, how the hell you believe that this the only sector that don't have black people? Who told you that? Why would you believe that? Them old ass sailboats. Oh, they was bringing day people here, y'all. They were bringing their own people here. Tell the truth about it. Because many of the Italians died trying to get here. Many of them brought major diseases to America. Go look it up. You can Google it. You can actually go on YouTube and you can see how the Italians got here. You can see they have actual video film of these people coming into America. But you don't have actual films of black people, so-called black people, in chains. Why don't you see any video? Why is it not on record? Why is it not on record that we can see? I don't want to hear what they talking about. Well, one came in Alabama. Well, show me the faces. Show me the faces of the people that came on these boats. Show me the evidence. Stop talking and show me. I'm not talking about no cartoon imageries, some little writing, some painting. Because if they would do, and we're gonna talk about it, if they would go around and talk about the religious Christ, and if they would say Christ all across the world is black, and that the black Madonna in Russia is black, in Asia, the black Madonna is black, that the Christ in every continent is black, but America. So if they would tell a story about the so-called Christ, what the hell would they tell you about you being the Indian? If they would tell you that Mary, the so-called Mary, was a white woman, that Mary Magdalene, all these religious people were also, well, why are they of color everywhere else? Why every other continent they of color? Make it make sense that all these other Europeans are praying to black people. And they get that from Kemet. They get that from the pyramids. They get the book of, when you talk about Horus, when you talk about the devil, you get it from Horus, the devil. They mock and they change religion, as religious is nothing but a repeat of what they got from Africa. Shout out to Right Wood in the house. But we were never over there. We had our own spiritual religion, because indigenous people were nature's people. Before they brought Christ here, we were meditators. We were spiritual people. We dealt with nature before we got colonized into their books. That was only on the eastern side of the world. I want people to understand that. They didn't have anything about Christ, because the indigenous people were way before Christ. That's how old our people are. Our people are the oldest race of people on the planet. And I had to straighten somebody out on TikTok. Um, they saw my children, and they I guess they assumed that I was with a white woman. I guess I said none of my children biracial. No offense to biracial people, but my children not biracial. See, people see the light complexion. They assume that black people don't make light people. I want people to understand that we come in all shapes and forms. Our Aborigine people are everywhere. Yeah, even in the Bible, Revelations 4:3 and 113, 116 describes of the Negro Jesus. So if you're going to talk biblically and you're going to talk about the Bible, well, if you're gonna have one, then you can't have one without the other. You can't. You're gonna go around and say you're gonna acknowledge Jesus as being black that way, but you can't acknowledge the black Indians here in America. Laniel in the house. Laniel 5813 in the house. Halito. You know what I'm saying, Thomas. You can't have one without the other, Thomas. They've been feeding us garbage for a very long time, Thomas. And they think that we are so stupid. Tricks are for kids. Everything we build, everything that we have. When they told you about Thomas Jefferson, when they talked about all these, these people that the inventions. And they talk about all these inventions. And then you look behind all these creators and all these inventions, and you find out our people was the ones who invented everything. Our people were the ones who invented everything here in America. But they have taken. So many people take. They take. That's why much as people call me a king, and I got nothing but respect for you, I would rather be chief. Because I understand that it's an honor to be called king because people look at king and they see that crown and they see royalty. But let's talk about what's behind that crown. Let's talk about what's behind kings and queens. Let's talk about what kings have done. Kings were kings and his servants. Queen Elizabeth had her servants go around and steal. There was none of her fortune came from her own lineages. It was stolen. The queen stole her riches. Just like we have been stolen, our identity have been stolen. So I don't like thieves. I don't like thieves. I don't like the fact that these people were the ones who walked around calling themselves kings and queens, and everywhere they went, they were stealing gold. They were stealing the generational wealth that they have today was stolen. So I would rather be chief. Just to add clarity to your statement on the Black Madonna, Brother Peanut, yeah, thank you. Thank you. And people don't want to talk about these things. They worship the black woman. They worship the black woman. And this is in everything we have done. If they would tell you that Cleopatra was a white woman, what else would they do? That they would say that the Egyptians were white people. What would they do, family? What would we do? Because that's what they do. They steal. What is wrong with you guys being a chief, a chiefess, an Indian? We don't want that European shit. We don't want that European shit. Because we don't steal. We just trying to reclaim what belongs to us. We're trying to reclaim back our genealogy. We're trying to take back all. Walter Plecker did a lot of work. Walter Plecker was one of the worst, was America's most wanted. One of the worst. Walter Plecker rewrote so many of many of you guys supposed to be getting checks. But Walter Plecker made it so we wouldn't be able to. The government has done so much disgrace against people of color. The government has done so much disgrace against our people. The KKK turned police officers. All they did was turn their sheets in for blue. I want to thank everybody for coming in, supporting me as y'all always do. You guys are the greatest. You guys are awesome. I want you guys to always remember, get up, get outside. Get up and get outside. Enjoy nature. Get in tune with nature. Because nature is everything. Change the way you eat. You want longevity in your life. Change the way you walk out here. We're not living long anymore, family. Our people are not living long. We're not supposed to die in our 20s. We're not supposed to die in our 30s. We're not supposed to die in our 40s. We're not supposed to be dying in our 50s. We're not supposed to be dying in our 60s. We're not supposed to be dying in our 70s. We're not supposed to be dying in our 80s, in our 90s. And we're supposed to live well within the hundreds. We are all we're doing is making it easy for them. What you put inside your body is just like a car. If you don't take care of that car, that engine gonna blow. If you don't take care of your heart, your heart is gonna blow. Let's get back to nature. Let's get back, Aborigine. There's no Aboriginal. There's no indigenous. There's no native without nature. There's none of that without nature. And if you don't believe in nature, you're not an Indian. You're not a native of this land. If you don't believe in nature, you cannot be the indigenous ones and not believe in nature. I want to thank all you guys. And this has been a great night. But I thank you guys. Hey, I like my new mic. Thank you, sons. If my sons out there listening to their daddy, thank you so much for this gift. You're making it so much easier for daddy. I want to thank y'all. Thank you guys. I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my wife who got them boys out there to go shop for their daddy. You know what I'm saying? But I want to thank all you guys. Stay strong in everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? No matter what negativity hit your life, Remember that. Remember they got somebody out there that's living it worse than you. They got people out there that got way more worse problems than you do. So it is what it is. I'm gonna put this up. Remember to hit the like button. Also, let's try to get this video up to 1K. Remember that this was an Aborigine perspective. The opinions in the chat may not reflect the opinions of Peanut Nola 504 and his Aborigine channel. Also, if you guys would like to donate to help the channel grow, you can. If you don't, could you at least share the video? That is just as good as you donating if you can share the video. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful night. Halito.